History remembers voices, words carved into stone, speeches shouted from marble steps. But Julius Caesar knew something else, something older than language. Power doesn't begin in the mouth, it begins in the body. Before Rome followed his commands, it followed his shadow. It's not the glory days we begin with, not the rubies, not the wreaths. Let's go to Gaul, to cold mud, to soldiers wrapped in torn cloaks, their lips cracked with frost. It's winter, 52 BCE. Caesar is in the trenches, not figuratively, literally. He doesn't delegate discomfort, he shares it. He walks the frostbitten ramparts with his men, eats their bread, sleeps in their camp, not apart from it. No velvet tent, no golden fire, just a general in the grime. The soldiers, many of them hardened by years, others young and untested, watch him. They don't see a god, they don't see a statue, they see a man cold, tired, wounded, and still moving. And that makes them move too. You want scale, you want a test. Here's one. Alesia. The Gauls are inside a fortified hilltop city. Caesar builds a wall around them, 11 miles long. But then the Gauls summon reinforcements, 250,000 men. So Caesar builds another wall, 21 miles long, facing outward. Now he's trapped between two armies, surrounded, outnumbered. Panic would be easy, but Caesar walks the lines, not to issue speeches, just to be seen, covered in dust, drenched in sweat. His horse is often unsaddled. He walks, like his men. When the final assault comes, Caesar doesn't stay in a command tent. He climbs the wall, armor on, sword drawn. His presence becomes a signal, a pulse. It isn't courage he's giving them, it's contact. They don't just fight for Rome, they fight because he's there. Because his bones are betting the same odds as theirs. Caesar didn't just conquer lands, he wrote messages into the earth. In 55 BCE, the Germanic tribes across the Rhine dared him to come. So he did something no Roman had done before. He built a bridge. Over the Rhine, in 10 days, he could have used boats. But Caesar doesn't make polite entrances. He marches a legion across the wooden bridge, not just to raid, but to say, I'm not sending a message, I am the message. He stays a few days, then withdraws. Not out of fear, but because the point has been made. His movement is a signal, his presence a provocation. To follow Caesar is not to obey orders, it's to feel his momentum behind you, like wind at your back. Fast forward to 48 BCE, civil war. Pompey controls Italy. Caesar marches south, but Pompey escapes to Greece. No problem. Caesar follows, across winter seas, with a fraction of his army. The rest of his legions are delayed, but he doesn't wait. He lands in Epirus with just 3,000 men. Not nearly enough to challenge Pompey. He could hide, he could dig in. But instead, Caesar shows up in town after town, openly, calmly. The Greeks are confused. Surely Caesar would not walk around so boldly if he had only a few thousand men. That's the trick. He uses visibility as a weapon. He is everywhere, unbothered, present. Even his enemies begin to doubt. Maybe he has more forces than we think. It's not deception, it's presence as power. You don't need to shout if you show up first. Then comes Pharsalus, the battle that changes Rome. Caesar's men are outnumbered 2-1. Pompey's cavalry outflanks his right. And Caesar, reading the moment not from a safe hilltop but from within the storm, deploys a hidden fourth line of infantry to turn the tide. When the dust clears, Caesar walks among the dead and wounded, both friend and foe. He doesn't disappear after victory. He doesn't vanish after battle. He walks the field. There's blood on his boots. His tunic is torn, but his eyes are alert, watching his men, not judging, not boasting, present. So what does it mean to rule not by command, but by presence? It means you don't ask others to believe in something you don't wear on your own skin. It means you don't outsource risk. You carry it.